guys, welcome back to another math lesson with HKM Math and Science. In this video, we'll be learning about decreasing and increasing by a percentage. And by the end of this lesson, we should all know the meaning of the terms discount, markup, profit, loss, and selling price, and also be able to find the new value if an amount is increased or decreased by a percentage. So let's just pause the video here and take a couple of minutes to write the learning intentions and success criteria for this lesson down. So we're going to start the lesson off by decreasing by a percentage. So common words used to represent a decrease in price include the words reduction, discount, sale, loss, or depreciation. It's really important that you guys do know that these words mean a decrease. In each case, the new value equals the original value minus the decrease. Decreasing an item by a set percentage involves a technique of finding a percentage of a quantity, something we learned last lesson. And in retail terms, selling price equals the retail price minus the discount. Alright, now moving on to increasing by a percentage. Some common words used to represent an increase in price include markup and profit. Make sure you do know that these two means an increase. In each case, the new value equals the original value plus the increase. Increasing by a set percentage also involves the technique of finding a percentage of a quantity. And in retail terms, selling price equals wholesale price plus the markup. GST is an example of a markup, and it is a 10% goods and service tax that is added to the price of many items, and this is essentially just a 10% markup. Alright, so now let's go through a couple of example questions, and let's start with the one on the top left here. So the question says $160 is increased by 40%. So the first step here is to find out what 40% of $160 is. So we do that. We learned this in the last lesson. We can do this by writing 40% as a fraction and then multiplying it by the number there. So that's 160, and that as a fraction is 160 over 1. So now let's cancel out the zeros here, and also we can do that vertically. That gives us 4 over 1 times 16 over 1. So let's do 16 times 4 over here. And 4 times 1 is 1, plus 2 is 6, so that gives us $64. 40% of $160 is $64. Now, since it is increased, if we look at the slide before, in retail terms, selling price equals wholesale price, so that's the original price there, plus the markup, and that's the increase here. So our markup price is $64, so we need to get $160 plus $64, and that will be our answer for the increase. So 160 plus 64, that gives us 4, 12 and 2, so our final answer will be $224. Alright, now let's have a go at the question on the right. So once again, our first step is to find out what 20% of $63 is. So let's write 20% as a fraction and $63 as a fraction as well. Yep, and let's cancel the zeros vertically first. And now we have 2 over 10 times 63 over 1. And now let's multiply that. 63 times 2, that gives us 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Gives us 126 over 10. And 126 divided by 10 is just $12.60. So we know 20% of $63 is $12.60. Now we got to subtract $12.60 from $63 because in retail terms, selling price equals retail price minus the discount. So that's a retail price and that's the discount. We're just subtracting that. So we have 63.00 minus 12.60. We learned how to subtract decimals in our last topic. So that gives us, made a mistake just there. 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 6 is 4. 2 minus 2 is 0, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So 63 decreased by 20% is $50.40. That's our answer there. Alright, now that we've gone through a couple of questions, just pause the video here and have a go at these yourself. Alright, so let's start off with the question on the top left here. So $200 is increased by 30%. So once again, the first step is to find out what 30% of $200 is. And that's done by writing 30% as a fraction and then multiplying it by $200 as a fraction. So let's cancel out the zeros first. So that leaves us with 30 over 1 times 2 over 1, and that gives us a value of $60. So 30% of $200 is $60, and now we got to add it to that value here. So that gives us $200 plus $60, and that would be $260. That's your answer, and give yourself a tick if you got that correct. Now moving on the next question, the one on the top right, $60 is decreased by 25%. Once again, start off by writing the percentage as a fraction and then multiply it by the value there as a fraction. Let's cancel out the zeros. There we go. We can also cancel that vertically by a factor of 5. Divide them both by 5 here. That's what you should get. So now we have 5 over 2 times 6 over 1. That gives us 30 over 2. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. So 25% of $60 is $15. Now we've got to subtract 15 from 60 because it is decrease. So I'll just do that quickly over here. 60 minus 15. Carry 1 from there. That gives us 45. So our final answer will be 60 minus $15. Let's write that a bit nicer. Equals $45. So if you got that correct, give yourself a tick. Alright, now let's move on to some worded problems. This may look a bit harder, but it's exactly the same concept. So let's have a go at the one on the top left. So find the cost of an $860 television that has been discounted by 25%. So the keyword here is discounted, and that once again just means decrease, just like up here. So first step, we need to find out what 25% of $800.60 is. So once again, write that as a fraction and multiply it by the value there as a fraction. Let's cancel the zeros here and divide both these by 5 again. And we can cancel one more time diagonally by a factor of 2. 86 divided by 2 is 43. So now we have 5 over 1 times 43 over 1. Let's do 43 times 5 over here. That gives me 215. 215, we know 1 times 1 is 1, so it'll be 215 over 1, which just equals 215. So we know 25% of $860 is $215. So now to get the discounted price, we need to do 860 minus 215. Let's work that out over here. Take 1 from there. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. So our final price is $645. Alright, now let's have a go at the question on the top right. Find the cost of a $250 microwave oven that has been marked up by 12%. So keyword here is marked up, and that means increased here. So our first step, find what 12% of $250 is. So 12 over 100 times 250 over 1. So let's cancel the zeros here, and we can divide diagonally, cancel or simplify diagonally by a factor of 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And we can do once more vertically here by a factor of 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we're left with 6 over 1 times 5 over 1. And that gives us $30 there. So we know 12% of $250 is $30. And it says marked up, so we need to add $30 onto 250. So 250 plus $30, and that gives us $280. Alright, now that we had a go at a couple of worded questions, just pause the video here and have a go at these by yourself. Alright, welcome back. Let's start with the one on the top left. So it says find the cost of a $720 phone that has been discounted by 25%. So once again, keyword is discounted, and that means decreased. So first step, once again, find what 25% of 720 is. That's our first step. Let's cancel or simplify diagonally by a factor of 10. And we can do a factor of 5 vertically. And now we can do a factor of 2 diagonally. So 72 divided by 2 goes into 3 times. That goes into 6. So that'll be 36, and that will be 1. So now we're left with 5 over 1 times 36 over 1. So that gives us, multiply 36 by 5. Gives us 180. So we know 25% of $720 is $180. Now it's discounted, so we need to subtract that value from 720. So that gives us 720 minus 180. Let's quickly work that out up here. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 8 we can't do, so we need to take it from the next one. 12 minus 8 is 4, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So we're left with $540. So the final discounted price is $540. Give yourself a tick if you got that correct. Alright, now let's move on to our final question on the top right here, and it says find the cost of a $1,250 couch that has been marked up by 18%. So the keyword here is marked up, and that just means increased. So once again, first step is to find out what 18% of $1,250 is. Let's have a go at that. 18 over 100 times 1,250 over 1. So let's cancel diagonally here by a factor of 10, and let's do it once more by a factor of 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 125 divided by 5 is 25. And we can do it once more vertically by a factor of 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. So now we have 9 over 1 times 25 over 1. And 25 times 9 gives us 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So we have $225. So the 18% of 1,250 is 225, and now we have to add that onto 1,250 because it's marked up. So let's get 1,250 plus 225. Let's quickly work that out up here. Plus 225, that gives us 5 there. 5 plus 2 is 7. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we have $1,475 there. So our final price of the couch will be $1,475. And give yourself a tick if you got that one correct. Alright, now that brings us to the end of this lesson. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully by now you guys all know the meaning of the terms discount, markup, profit, loss, and selling price. And you can also find the new value if an amount is increased or decreased by percentage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all back online.